You remember when you were a kid and you had an opportunity, if you ever did, to jump on a trampoline, a big one? That, if you find the right rebounder, can be the case. And in this video, we are going to be breaking down 3 different types and brands of rebounders. So let's jump into the breakdown of these different rebounders and I'll kind of show you what's going on. So I've created 4 categories I'm gonna rate these rebounders on. There's 3 of them here. Here's the Bellicon, the Bellicon is behind me, and then I've got a generic one over here we'll look at. And the 4 categories I'm gonna rate them on is the quality and feel of the bounce, the build quality of the rebounder itself, meaning like, does it look like there's cheap materials used, cheap bands, springs, whatever you want to have, cheap bolts, things like that, where it feels like it's going to fall apart, and how stable it feels. And portability, which in my case, because I live in an apartment, it is a problem. Like if I have stuff just laying around, I don't have a garage I can just stuff things into. So we're going to look at all of those variables and rate them and go through them one by one. This is the Bellicon. I'm actually impressed that my mic is staying on. Hopefully it's not. So from my experience, very good bounce. All right, here's the Bellicon. Now keep in mind, to be fair, I did buy the biggest Bellicon. It is just huge. I mean, it's a 49-inch, so you can imagine 4 feet in diameter. This is much smaller. Third option I have is called a Moth to top. I feel like I'm jumping almost entirely just rock hard. You can feel just the violent compression in my spine, in my joints. Oh, this Bellicon is nuts. I'm gonna do another jump on this and just show you as I feel it. I swear I'm not a sales rep of Bellicon. So I'm gonna go through all of these and just kind of show you close-ups of what the build quality looks like, and you can tell me what you think. But in terms of my experience, you can kind of see. So here is a Bellicon. You see you've got springs right here. You've got metal on the bottom, the metal feet, and then you've got a big sort of trampoline zone here. So first thing you'll notice is there are no springs. These are not metal springs. These are actually elastic bungees. You know, you're not gonna have necessarily, it's just a different feel. It's a much more graceful feel. Now they customize these colors if you want different colors. And I actually went through different strengths. So I initially bought the yellow, which is kind of their middle power, but I was touching the ground. When I hit the ground, I was actually touching all the way. Then I switched them up and I put half and half, and I did yellow, red, yellow, yellow. So it's quite a big circumference for a thing, but build quality is very high in my experience so far. I've been using this thing for about 4.5 weeks, 3.5 weeks now. Build quality is still really high in my experience. Seems like it's well built, sturdy, can handle my bounce, these legs. So it's just really not quite the same. It doesn't have that instant portability against the wall where you can compact it the way the Bellicon does with these legs that just literally just snap out, snap back in. So as we mentioned, the Moth to top zone, the springs, the Bellicon bands. Got the frame. Here's how the stitches look. When you think about it, are gonna be really important. They're inside stitched, they're cross stitched. This is German made. These other ones are made in China. All right, let's bring this video home. So I'm sharing on my screen here a table. Here's what we have in terms of costs. Bellicon starts at $829. That's the model that I showed you in the demonstrations. The Bellicon is right around $109, I think, the one that I'm using, the smaller one, medium sized. And then the Moth to top it was like 40 bucks. So no warranty on that. You probably get like a 90-day warranty. I'm sure if it broke in the first like month, you could go through Amazon and return it. That being said, the warranty on the Bellicon is lifetime on their frame. They stand really strongly by their frames, 3 years on the mat and a year on the bungees. So you have quite a good amount of time on the Bellicon. Highly durable. As far as the actual notes, Bellicon, again, known for their extreme sort of exceptional build quality and smooth bounce. Top choice for serious fitness people. The B-Can is going to be kind of a little more of a balance versus functionality. And then the Moth to top is a very basic entry level where you get something, and it's not the end of the world if that's where you have to start. But I would assume a lot of the people that came to this video, you're probably looking for the Bellicon versus the B-Can versus the JumpSport. Unfortunately, I didn't have the JumpSport. I reached out to them. They didn't have any sort of response in their affiliate program. And frankly, I just was like kind of sold on the Bellicon by the time I did my research and what I wanted to do. So this is a bit of a heavy, Bellicon video, but at the end of the day, I think for anyone who is serious about rebounding and is going to use it consistently, it's a great investment. I buy a few things where I spend, and buy the Rolls Royce of things. One being my computer chair, because I'm sitting in it oftentimes 10 hours plus a day. And so having good back support, but also comfortable, being cool, high quality. I've made a video on the computer chairs, comparing the Aerons to the Herman Miller. In this case with the Rebounder, it's also a great office tool. It really breaks up your day to go take a break and do jumping. Like just jumping changes your physiology. It gets you back in the zone, gets your heart rate elevated, gets you moving. So I think that's an awesome way to approach things. And then lastly, just from the perspective of the overall fun of it, it's like getting something that's really, really cool. Maybe your first iPhone or, a really dope MacBook, or switching from, a car to a Tesla. In my experience, like when you switch to these more premium, high quality build products, you like to stay with them. So anyways, I hope that was helpful. Hope that was informative. And if you stayed this long for the videos, I appreciate it. And I will see you in the next one.